We are 65,000 views shy of 1 million on this music video. People are loving it, but how did we accomplish that? And what was it like shooting a music video of this magnitude? Well, y'all already know, we about to talk about it. So, working with Bri Babineaux is probably one of my most favorite accomplishments, one of my most favorite achievements. She's a Grammy-nominated singer who I got the chance to work with thanks to the work I did with Sony Music artist Dope Jones. If you've seen that video, you know that it's crazy. But if you haven't seen the breakdown of it, but you want to, a link will be somewhere around here for you to go check it out. Now, it all started with a text from Jonathan McReynolds' manager, Walter, sending over the song and asking if I'd give a listen to it. After hearing I Will Wait, I just knew it was going to be successful. And I was right. The song actually just charted #1 on Billboard. Now, loving the song and knowing that everyone else was gonna love the song, I immediately jumped on the treatment. In this song, Bri expresses that though not having the answer is challenging, she's still gonna wait on God. The first thing that I thought about was the era of the payphone. Whenever you wanted someone to reach you, you'd page them and you'd wait at a payphone for their call. Now, I ain't Methuselah old, I ain't that old. I've just watched a ton of movies, and I've seen them in real life. Okay, I might be old. So, I wanted to show the artist performing in a payphone booth. And because it's a story type of song, I wanted to show different individuals also in that payphone waiting on a personal answer from God to their prayers. Now, there was a music video that I can't remember the name of to save my life that really had the feel I was going for. Whatever the name of that song was, I grabbed a ton of references from it. I also found some things I liked from Unsplash as well. And then I also had the thought that I wanted to show the artist pouring into these different individuals at a bus stop. Because what do you do at a bus stop? You wait. So, after collecting all the shots and creating the treatment, I sent it over to Walter. And it wasn't even a day later I found out that Bri loved it. So, we moved on to finding a location, but more challenging, a payphone. Where the hell were we gonna get a payphone for the music video? Finding a location was easy since we were shooting in Atlanta. I used my signature place when it comes to shooting music videos, Studio Space Atlanta, but I didn't know what to do concerning a payphone. I originally thought that making one would be the move. I quickly found out that was super pricey, and buying one from eBay or Facebook Marketplace was out of the question as well. But then, I found it. I came across this company I use all the time now called Prop Source. Now, Prop Source is a prop rental place. It has everything you could imagine. They literally had 4 different standing payphone booths. I even found a bench and a street sign I wanted to use. So I rented it all. We found our actors, then came the day of the shoot. We opted to shoot on the Arri Alexa Mini with DZO Vespid Primes. With Eric Dotson as my DP, we started with our individual performance scenes with Bri first. Side note, if you're ever working with a known artist, get their stuff done in the beginning. We placed the street sign and payphone booth behind her. I believe we used a small quasar tube inside the booth, and then a Titan tube lifted up high behind her as a hair light to separate her from the background. We then used a Menace arm to place a F-22C above her, and we set it to a turquoise color. I loved how that popped off of her coat. Huge shout out to wardrobe for that one. To make this scene even greater, I VFX some gold particles in the air. The reason I did this is because since we wasn't going to see that scene until the buildup of the song, I wanted to separate it from every other scene. And lastly, we shot a Titan tube through unbleached muslin. I wanted very clean movement for this scene also, so instead of going with a gimbal or going handheld, we operated on the Dana Dolly to give the shot some smooth movement. Okay, before I share my favorite look with you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can stay notified for more content like this. It helps me keep growing so I can keep making these videos. Alright, moving on. Next came my favorite shot where we placed Bri inside of the phone booth and had her perform. This is also where we would have our individual actors as well. So we needed to go with something that would work with each person. We opted to use the Dana Dolly once again for movement, but this time we ran it left to right instead of forward and backwards. Concerning lighting, we shot an Aperture 600 through bleached muslin off of camera left, keying the artist. We then placed the 300X on a turtle base and bounced it into an ultra bounce for feel. If you're ever lighting a subject and need the light a little softer, try bouncing it. And then lastly, we set up a Titan tube behind and slightly above the phone booth, bringing back that turquoise color from the last scene. Like I've said before, I love using tubes because when it comes to using them in scenes that have mirrors or glass or reflections, they actually work as practicals and blend in well with the scene. Another reason I really love this scene is because Bri really did her thing on the performance.
He is able, I know that he is faithful, and I know he will come through. Give me the strength to soar like an eagle, and every promise is the truth, so I'm I will wait on you.
We shot some tight shots and some mid-tight shots of the scene, and then moved on to the actors and got their shots as well. My favorite of those were of my homie Brent, who got thrown into the video last minute. And then the final scene, which on the day wasn't my favorite scene, but I actually ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would. So initially, as you saw in the treatment, the plan was to shoot at a bus stop or shoot at a martyr. But in Atlanta, getting a permit for that was not going to be an easy task. So I opted to go with something a little more abstract. When it comes to music videos, don't be afraid to do this. Everything doesn't have to be super real. We used a few other random things we found in the studio to try to paint that we were at an actual bus stop of sorts. This scene represented what the overall message of the song was to the viewer. So I had Bri perform it to the struggling individuals, pleading with them to keep their faith and to be patient. To light this scene, we had the aperture nova off of camera left, up high spraying blue across the scene, which also gave us an edge light. Then, since we only had access to one nova, we used a Titan tube off of camera right and set it to green. Lastly, we rigged an Amaran flex light above top. Let me know in the comments, out of these shots, which one was your favorite? Like I said before, this video is almost at 1 million views. Go check it out and let me know what you think. And if you're looking for another cool breakdown like this one, well, you should check this video out here.